Hello, everyone. Daniel here from the Next Issue Podcast. Today, I'll be reviewing the trial of Magneto #1. Um, Now, before we jump into the actual comic, I want to first say there will be a little bit of spoilers for the Hellfire Gala event and also X Factor, which is kind of like the previous book leading up to this. So if you're not caught up on that, go check those out. But let's first go into the credits for this book. So X-Men, The Trial of Magneto #1 is written by Leah Williams, illustrated by Lucas Werneck, colors by Edgar Delgado, and letters by Clayton Cowles. And this is published by Marvel Comics. So, following the events of the Hellfire Gala, the Scarlet Witch has been murdered. X Factor begins to investigate. If you remember from the series, X Factor was the one team that kind of they investigate if people are dead so they can be put through the resurrection protocols in Krakoa. Uh, Now, this all does lead to finding evidence at the crime scene that Magneto may have had a hand in Wanda's execution. Um, from what we saw at the Hellfire Gala, Magneto and Wanda finally had reconnected, so we don't know really what's going on here. This series will act as a bit of a continuation of Williams's series X Factor. So now that these mutants are kind of investigating and playing this detective role. So let's go take a look at that real quick. So here we see X Factor just kind of investigating. They each have they're joined by the X Force because they were security at that time for the Hellfire Gala. So one thing I really liked about this setup is that I you get to see a lot of characters interact, and that's one of my favorite things to see in comic books, like big groups of characters. They're not really out fighting, they're just trying to get stuff done. Now obviously in this case it's a bit more somber because of the situation that's going on with Wanda. um, I don't really know where the story is going to go. I like the setup. um, I think my only issue, I guess, is that I don't like to see I don't like to see Wanda be put in the middle of all this stuff. So it is quite unfortunate. Hopefully, this will have a good payoff, though. I think I have a lot of faith in the team that it will be for a good reason, and we do get some hints of that towards the end. But I won't go into any specific details to avoid spoilers. One thing I want to mention here from the art by the art team of Wernick and Delgado. I love the paneling here. We see iBoy and Dakin. They're in two separate areas. One of them is examining the body with the team, and the other one is out with X Force looking at the clues. So I love going back and forth, really kind of reinventing what happened on the event. So I love how each of their powers is used. Like the team of X Factor was put together so seamlessly that it really makes sense that they are the CSI team of Krakoa. Um, another panel or a splash page I guess I want to bring up real quick, and there's a lot of dialogue, so you won't. There's not really a lot of spoilers on it though, unless you pause the video to read all the dialogue. Just want to talk about the composition of this. Like we have here, Wanda is at the examination table, and then we kind of see the whole theme of Krakoa is that it's a living entity. So here we have the vines going back and forth, acting as the panels going back between our characters. So like things like this is some of the stuff you can really only do in comics. So I very much appreciate when the team does something like that. Um, like I said, this was a really good setup for the story. I think I like the team behind it, behind everybody that's working on the comic. I really like a lot of the characters that are involved. X Factor, Polaris Dakin, Northstar. We have Rachel Gray or Rachel Summers. Um, yeah. I do think it's interesting that X Force is acting as the backup because they are security of the island. So it's really interesting. We do get a lot of moments with Magneto and the Quiet Council that I don't really want to go into details because I want you guys to experience that on your own. Um, But yeah, I think it's going to be an interesting event. Like I said, I hope that all this resolution really pays off, specifically for Wanda. We do get a surprise return of a character that I think you guys will enjoy. Um, but yeah, the story, is just, it has a good hook. I was on board with the series since they announced it, so I'm just really looking forward to this whole thing coming back around, and so we can figure out what's going on here, what's the real purpose of this story, because I have a feeling that there's a lot more than just this is not just like a CSI police procedural story. I think there's going to be a lot more X-Men shenanigans that are going to be involved. So yeah, that's my review. 2 thumbs up. Go pick this up at your comic store or wherever comic books are sold. Remember to share, like, subscribe. If you're hearing a little bit of lightning, it's because there's storm. I don't know if that's being caught up in the mic, but we got to keep going. So I appreciate you guys watching. Leave us a comment. Let me know what other X-Men books you're reading, or what other Marvel books or comics in general you're reading. And remember to check out our What If Revisited series, where we go back and look at some of the old What If comics. I try to tie them into the theme of the What If episode that we're getting on TV for that week. But sometimes it's just like whichever one catches my interest, or some of them that actually have been recommended by friends of the show. So thanks for watching, everyone. Bye-bye.